Hey guys, Megan Lynn here, Spiritual Empress. How is everybody? What's up? It's really dark out today. So thank you for all the new subscribers. We hit 700. It's very, very cool. I know I haven't been like posting as much as I've wanted to, or other people have wanted like certain things. So thank you for like commenting about things that you want to hear about. I've just been really busy with work and a lot of stuff's changed in the last like month or so. So sorry for that. So today, a couple people were waiting on this. I hope it's not anticlimactic. These are just from my experiences with people with high reptile DNA in them. And yes, I did date one. And you're probably thinking, Megan, why would you date a reptile? Well, we didn't really, like, I didn't initially know that. It was actually a really, really strong connection initially. So I'm just going to go through the time I dated a reptilian. It's the actual, like, Mayan. So if you guys watch my other video on different lines that I've actually had experience with, there's like Europeans and then they're what I call the Mayans. All the Mayans are super similar. So yeah, so I guess I'll just get right into it, how I started dating a reptilian. So I guess I'll start with like how we met. We'll call him Matt. So how we met was something online. I wasn't on like a dating app. I can't remember really how we met, but it was something online, and then we ended up messaging back and forth. So maybe it was some sort of dating app. I don't know. Anyway, so me and Matt ended up getting matched or something, and he ended up messaging me. So of course, I'm like that person. I look up their sign right away, and it was a Cancer, and I'm like, ugh. Like, no, I always get Cancer guys, but for me, they literally turn out to be a Cancer tumor. So, yeah, so Matt ended up messaging me, and to my surprise, like, we really hit it off. Like, we were talking about a lot of similar things, like, you know, and he had pretty good wit, so, like, as long as you can keep me laughing, like, you'll have my interest. So he ended up, we just kept messaging back and forth, and then like progressively it started getting a lot deeper conversations, and they started going to like a spiritual route. So I knew right away that he was actually like spiritually interested or things like that, but we did end up exchanging phone numbers, and the texting was just nonstop back and forth for like a full day, like nonstop texting. We were having like these really awesome conversations. It's actually like very refreshing to have somebody that you can connect with on a spiritual level when you're the kind of person that I am. So I was immediately just kind of like pulled in, because I told a family member, I was like, I don't meet people that I can talk to like this, right? So it was really good conversation. So that first night or second night that we had exchanged numbers and we're texting all day, he ended up FaceTiming me, and it's like 8:30 at night or something. Like, I'm nothing to look at that point, but we ended up FaceTiming, and we were just talking for like hours and hours, laughing, really good conversation. And then from there, the like conversation just continued. So that night we hung up, and then the texting was just instantaneously like back and forth. Kind of like when you're first starting to meet somebody and they kind of spark your interest, you're a little bit like excited. So that's kind of like what it was. And so we started to realize through the next couple days of corresponding that our conversations were not normal. We were starting to actually have like telepathic conversations, like soul conversations. He recognized it too, and he had never like experienced it with another person. But we were also seeing different images in our head. So our images would match, like something he saw in his head, I saw in my head, and we'd be texting him like, look, this is like really weird. This is not normal. Like, you're not an intuitive. And he's like, no. But we started seeing different images of different kinds of beings I've never seen before. I think if you guys want to look them up, they're called the Seraphine. That's the first time I've seen a Seraphine before, and they're like these cast out angels. They have like 3 sets of they're like the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. They basically have these really large wings, or like angelic kind of beings, and I don't know if they're negative or positive, but they also have these, like, they cover their eyes and their groin and their feet. So I had to actually look it up because I'd never seen one of those before. So we ended up looking it up. And, you know, we kept talking. I'm like, these experiences are just like really weird. And he goes, well, you know, because we had been so open about talking about spirituality and things like that. He said, well, just so you know, because I had connected very briefly with his mother. She's a very, very, her energy, like, hated me, really hated me. I couldn't figure out why. I said, look, your mother's coming through. He's like, I don't talk to my family because they're really, like, horrible, mean people. I had a very abusive childhood, things like that. So I said, well, yeah, she hates me. I said, so I don't know how she's connecting or something. And he goes, well, she was involved in, like, Catholicism, but she also did, like, kind of black magic or black arts kind of stuff. And was very verbally abusive. Their father was physically abusive. And then I think he either died or something like that. So really rough childhood. But he said, well, can I just tell you something, since I know that we're pretty open about, like, all of our weird shit. He's like, my whole line of my family is supposedly reptilian. And so for me, I'm just like, huh, cool, whatever. But he did say that supposedly that's, you know, what he had been told, that they were reptilians. It kind of made sense because his, like, childhood was so fucked up, and, like, his parents and everybody was just kind of, like, very miserable people, so that's why he cut them all off. So he ended up telling me that. And then also, this is after when I first met him, but well, I guess I'll go into that kind of after. So we ended up just keep talking about it. We could definitely see, like, there's a really strong connection. So we just continued to talk, and I'm all for, like, whatever. I know that these people, like, exist. I had never met one before at that point. So this is, like, years ago. So anyway, we kept talking, and then we proceeded to plan. His house was right by my work. So he even said, like, one day I'll bring you lunch or something like that. So he was very nice. However, so our first date, this is where the weirdness started. So we decide that we're going to meet up and have a first date or whatever. I drove out to his side of town because I was, like, on the complete other side of town. So I drove all the way out there, and he's like, look, I'll take you to lunch. So I went, I met him. There's, like, a couple weird things. I'll kind of go through the weird things. So I did go up to his apartment. Weird things about my first experience walking in is his apartment was very dark. I'm the type of the person that, like, the second I wake up in the morning, I open the blinds. Like, I have to have sunlight. It just wakes me up. He could not handle sunlight. It hurt his eyes. So he would just always keep his apartment very dark. And then he also had me sit in on one of his CPS calls too. He was just like, yeah, this will take, you know, a couple minutes and we'll go eat. So I ended up sitting, and his voice on the call was very, like, melodic. He had a very melodic, calming, soothing voice. You could fall asleep to it. It was just very nice. I wish I could have, like, recorded it for when I had trouble sleeping. But I thought it was really cool that that's what he did for a living, because he'd tell me some of, like, the stories of the kids that he had to, like, deal with that day. And I have, like, a lot of empathy for especially children. I think most people do. So I thought that that was very cool. He had this, like, government job, you know, nice, whatever. So he ends the call. We end up leaving, and he takes me to a crab shack. So if you guys don't know me, I love crab. So, and I went with a cancer, go figure, the crab. But we ended up, he paid for lunch it was, and we just had this, like, really nice lunch. So what he noticed about me right away is, I didn't think he was thinking anything of it, but the conversation was good. He didn't really know how to eat crab, so I think he just took me there to be nice because he knew I did. But when we were leaving, he said, Megan, do you not notice that? And I was like, notice what? And he's like, every single person in that restaurant was staring at you. And I know that I don't know if it's just my presence or what, I get a lot of people staring at me no matter where I'm going, no matter what gender, just people stare at me. And he just said, you had everybody in the room just watching you. And he's like, I've never met somebody like that. It's, you know, it's kind of weird. I said, yeah, I get that a lot, so sorry, whatever. So we did end up, so we're driving back to his apartment. We were going to do something else. We had, like, plans for the whole day, right? So we were driving back. He asked if we could stop and get cigarettes because I was the one who drove. And I noticed he has this tattoo on the bottom side of his arm. So when people have tattoos, I always look at them and see what the symbolism is for it. His was of an angel. An angel. So his was an angel tattoo, usually, but this angel was very dark looking. But I didn't know if, like, he had the angel for somebody who had passed in his family. Like, I had no idea. So I did end up asking him. He goes, oh, do you not know who that is? And I said, no, I know the angels. That one I don't recognize. And he goes, well, that's Lucifer. So for those of you who don't know who Lucifer is, Lucifer was the, like, right hand of God angel. So it's not Satan. It's not, like, after he fell, it's Lucifer, the actual people who are Luciferians. They believe that he should have, basically Lucifer got cast out because he had his pride and ego take over and he wanted to be worshipped as God. So God cast him out. What is the story? And they believe that Lucifer is like the true higher power, the true God or whatever. So I thought that was like a little bit strange, but like to me, everybody has different strokes for different folks, right? So I didn't really think too much of it. I said, oh, well, I kind of work for the other guys, you know, the guy that took your guy's place. And he goes, well, that's okay. And I said, well, I don't care as long as you don't push it on me. I won't push it on you. So this is where the part of the date got really weird, is we drove back to the apartment and we had things that we were going to do. So we had things that we were going to do. And I can say also with people who have like negative attachments, if they get close to me, those negative attachments will do almost anything to try to scare this person away from me because I'm positivity. So it was the weirdest thing ever. I pulled in and I parked, and then I think we were just going to decide what we were going to do moving forward because we had like things we wanted to do that day just to kind of make a day out of it. And he just kind of looks at me and he goes, okay, well, you know, that was fun. Thank you. And I looked at him like, what? Kind of confused. And he goes, well, thank you. You know, it was really nice hanging out with you. And, you know, I'm gonna go up to the apartment now or something. And I was completely taken aback because we had like legit plans for the day. Like we were going to do shit. And I looked at him. I was like, really? I thought we were going to do other things. And he just goes, no. He's like, I'm good. I'm just going to go hang out upstairs or something. And I was completely taken aback because it was kind of like a weird thing to do. And very just like kind of rude because I had driven all the way to his area to hang out or whatever. So he goes, yeah, and then he like gives me a hug and he just leaves. And I'm just like dumbfounded, completely like shocked. So I'm like, okay, well, screw this guy, whatever. I'm not playing fucking games if like, because it was very, very weird, you guys. It was in a rude way. Like it wasn't like, you know, something came up. Like he literally like, oh, and that's the thing too, is he got a phone call in the car, or he got a phone call when he got out to get his cigarettes, and he came in and he like made up an excuse. No, I'm intuitive, so I knew he was lying. He like came up with an excuse and he was like, oh yeah, I gotta go help my mom. And you know, so then when we parked and he was like, yeah, well, thank you, and was wanting to get out. I knew he was lying, and he knew I knew because I'm intuitive. So I was like, you know what, fuck this guy, whatever. So I left. Now I'm probably 10 minutes into my drive and I get text messages from him, and I just said, hey, look, dude, like, I know that you were lying, whatever it was, thanks for lunch, you know, we don't need to take this any further, you know, bye, thanks for your time. He flips out and he calls and he's like, where are you? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm going back home. Like, I'm on the freeway. Like, I'm already like 20 minutes out from you. And he goes, well, I'm coming to you. Like, I'll come meet you. Like, where are you? And I was just like, dude, I'm all the way across town. Like, at this point, really, I mean, there's no point. And he goes, look, I don't know why I like freaked out. I don't know why I did that. Like, he's like, I don't know why I had this feeling all of a sudden that like I had to like end the day, whatever. He's like, I'm coming to you, let me come find you, whatever. And I'm like, well, you're probably like afraid because it's like an actual real connection. I don't know if you've had a lot of those before, so whatever. So he ends up meeting me gets all the way across town. He'd never been to my side of town, so he ended up getting lost. So I then confined him. And so I found him, and I was like, look, let's just stop at, there's this like zoo by my house, but it's like a chill zoo. I like to like go, they have like a barbecue place there and stuff, and I like to hang out. And I was like, he's like, well, what do we do now? And I said, well, let's go to the aquarium. And he's like, okay. People are always blown away with whatever I suggest, so it's the aquarium, right? So we decide that we're gonna park, go to the aquarium. Another weird thing about these guys is they always have stomach issues. So he had like internal issues, like I think with his liver or something like that. I didn't know at the time. I found out after it. But we end up going to the aquarium, and, you know, we're just talking about things and stuff like that. And then I told him, let the animals talk. And he didn't believe me. So I was basically going through and communicating with the animals in front of him. So that, like, blew his mind. Now, anybody with high reptile DNA, if they meet somebody who has abilities, they're very intrigued by it. They want to be around it. Because, you know, so they can use it for whatever. So I was communicating with the animals. We were having a good time. Then we went and decided to have, like, one of the 32-ounce, like, beer at the bar there, because they have a bar there. And we just had, like, a really good time. People were asking us, like, how long we've been married. And, like, it was just, like, really weird. But, you know, we ended up leaving that date on a really, really good note. So things are going nice for a while. He wanted to make plans to see me again right away. So there was a couple times where, like, I'd go to his house and hang out or something, or we'd go eat. But like I said, he had, like, stomach issues. So, like, he didn't like to eat, like, a lot. I eat a lot of, like, really acidic foods and spicy foods and things like that. So, yeah, but so I would go stay over at his house. What I knew right away, though, so, like, the second time I came over, I walked in his house. Again, it's all dark. And he had told me that there were, like, things in his house, like, entities. And I go, okay, well, the second I came into the house the second time, he goes, that's really weird. And I said, what? And he goes, normally you can hear them. He's like, you can't hear them since you came over. And I said, well, they're probably freaking scared of me. So that's why. But we could literally, like I said, so anybody who knows about, like, people with reptilian DNA, they can create portals. He was very well aware that there were portals in his house. And he was very well aware that there were entities in there, and they would tell him things. And those were things that I really wanted to clear out, that he had just kind of gotten used to. But I could tell that they would just wear on his, like, mental state in a way that they would kind of make him, he would kind of lose himself a little bit. Like, kind of like when somebody stares off and is kind of daydreaming, that would be him a little bit. So, but he would just sit there and he would, like, watch those things and look into, because some portals you can see are for stupid areas, like they'll go into some kid's room and it's a kid playing or something, just weird stuff with the portals. But we could sit there and we could watch the same things, and they were all, like, above his bed. And then typically, like, if I came over, they would, like, go in the closet, whatever entities they were, but the portals would stay. Like, the portals you could still see. Have I figured out what those portals are for? No, I think that they're for attachments. I think those attachments come through those portals, but I don't really know what they are. All I know is that they're not positive, and they'll feed you things that aren't. So, yeah, we could see those. So this continued for, like, a couple weeks, but the thing of it is they start to get very confusing. I've noticed this with all of the ones that I've come into contact with, is they become very confusing in their, it's kind of like when you're dating and, like, you're kind of, like, not really into somebody, so you'll kind of, like, scattered communication. He had, like, a lot of friends at work that were female, and, like, to me, I don't mind, like, I'm not insecure or anything like that, but it did bother me the way that he would text them or the way that he would talk to them, and it's like, you're with me now, so, you know, don't be, like, because it was very evident it wasn't, like, it was either more or potentially more than a friendship. So I don't care what you're doing, dude. Just don't do it, like, while I'm with you. I don't care. So anyway, I think the straw that broke the camel's back, because I got really irritated. What happened? So I ended up taking him out one night because I had gotten, like, a really good bonus, right? I've gotten a really good bonus, and what I like to do for, like, people I care about is I like to take them out to dinner. So I took him out to this really nice place called The Mission. It's gorgeous inside. It's like this old cathedral, and it's really, really pretty. really expensive dinner. I think I dropped like 120 on it, whatever. But because I do nice things when, you know, I get paid out and things like that. So he ended up texting. He was texting this girl like this whole time, and I started getting irritated because I'm dropping cash here, and, you know, we're trying to have a nice dinner. And I honestly was like, by the end of the dinner, like, it was fine during for the most part because he had never like done anything like that. But like by the end of the dinner, I was pissed. I was like, no, I'm going home. Like, whatever. You can talk to all your other girls and say that they're your friends. I don't really feel like they are, and I'm pretty good about that, like, BS meter. So he ended up saying, you know, okay, I told her I can't text her, you know, whatever, you know, stop texting. I would talk to her at work or something like that. And so everything was, like, fine, like, moving forward. The weird thing that happened was, like, after that morning, because I got ready, and then I went to work. After that night, things just kind of got weird. I was kind of talking to my friends about it, and, like, for me, it's not hard for anybody to really go get somebody, so I'm not going to waste time on somebody I'm, like not into, but, like, the conversations kind of changed. They weren't as interesting. And anyway, I was talking to my friends, and I had this, like, this is one of the weird things, too. They had this ability either when I don't know if they're remote viewing you or what they're doing, because he would do it. He would like know what I was talking about, but I'd get this like this either ring in my ear or this like pressing in my ear when he was either thinking about me or I think trying to have telepathy. I don't know what it was, but it would be every single time he would be like thinking of me, or he'd be trying to portal or do something. But I was talking to my friends about it. We're all at lunch, and they said, oh yeah, so how's it going with Matt, you know, blah blah blah. And I was like, you know, guys, I don't know, like, it's kind of getting a little bit weird. He's kind of like becoming a little bit more unstable, like as far as he would just like lash out randomly and say like a mean thing, and it was not just a mean thing, it was just like weird. Like he would completely flip-flop from the person that he was, and I think that that's the attachment that they have. I have no idea. So that's kind of my explanation for it. The kind of thing that like pushed him away from me is that if it's positivity and they vibrate low, eventually it's going to bring up things in them, and typically it's some sort of like unsettled business from childhood, which I find that a lot with like narcissists too. But this guy like legit like knew he was a reptilian. He like knew. And I could say this telepathy and all the weird stuff has been across the board for all these people. So I was talking to my girlfriends at lunch, and they were asking about him. I said, you know, he's getting weird. It's like, it's not like it was like when we were first talking, it was very animated. I was like, now he's trying to talk to other readers about me, and he was having these like girls, and they were just talking about me. None of them knew me, but they would just be like feeding him all this bad stuff about me. And he was listening to them, and he'd like be texting me, and he'd be like, well, I talked to this girl who says she's a reader, and she says like you're full of shit and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't even know this girl, so if you want to talk to other chicks or, you know, be hateful, you go do that. So anyway, I was talking to my friends about it, and I said, yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of break it off, like, because they asked if I was going to his place that night, and I said no, I don't think so. And I was like, I kind of think I'm gonna break it off. So he ends up sending me that text. I get the ringing in my ear. He sends me the text. I said, oh, he heard me. And they go, what do you mean? This is all in real time. Like, my friends are sitting around me. I said, he heard what I said. And they go, no way. I not maybe like 10 seconds later get a text from him basically saying that he doesn't see how it would work with us and blah, blah, blah. And he's talking to this girl, and she's saying all these things about me, and he believes them and blah, blah, blah. And like literally like that was it. It was the weirdest thing ever. And my friends were just sitting there with their jaws open. Like, did that just really happen? I said, I told you, like, he can hear, like, he knows my thoughts. Like, we know each other's thoughts. It's very, very creepy. And, so anyway, that's how it ended with him. I could say there's a lot of really weird, like, reptilian things. I could say they're not stable. A lot of them are into Luciferianism. With that comes, like, dark entities and attachments and things like that. So I wouldn't suggest it. They'll come off being very, like, caring, or I think, like, on the inside, on a human level, like, they actually want to be good, but, like, it's kind of like the Grinch. Like, if he does too much good, he feels like he has to do something bad. And I feel like that's kind of like where that went with that. But he was well aware. Like, his whole family line, like, was them. I wouldn't suggest it because they all lack empathy. they want to have it, but they can't. And also, too, if you have abilities, they're very attracted to you for, like, what you can give to them. So, I can say he did want me to, like, help him with his book. You know, he did want certain things. So, the funny thing is, this mother lover, he kept coming back around. I was, like, not interested because it was so weird because the second, if I did, like, entertain any of it or did say, like, if he reached out, usually if somebody reaches out to me, I'm concerned something's wrong. So on a basic human level, I'll help you, but he would reach out and every once in a while, and like the last time he reached out and he just said, you know, hey, how are you? Oh, he felt really bad too. He felt really bad about like missing out on us, I guess. I don't know. But he did apologize and stuff like that. I don't care at this point. It was so long ago. But yeah, so I said, oh, it's whatever, you know. You are who you are. You're like and he's honestly like a cheater anyway. They're very manipulative and they like to cheat and they don't know why that they can't stop. It's like a compulsion. I have no idea. So whatever. But anyway, he did say that. And so I talked to him a couple times back and forth, and then he started with the same manipulation stuff. So just so you guys know, reptilians don't grow out of their behaviors. They don't grow. They can't get rid of them. It's kind of like not their ability to. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I have like quite a few stories about working for them. That's the only one like I've ever really dated, and there was a lot of things, I can't remember them now, that happened that were just very like not normal. But anyway, yeah, so if you guys want to like, comment, share, ask more follow-up questions, I'll probably remember more if you guys ask specific questions. I'm just trying to remember to the best of my ability. But yeah, thank you to all the new subscribers. Like, comment, share, or tell me what you guys want to hear about if you want. I'm going to do another one probably on reptilian people I've worked for. Those are very across the board, like the same experiences, and it's not just having like a mean boss or a mean manager. Like, it's literally like there is some weird Luciferian shit to them. One of my other team leads, he had the same type tattoo too. So, and then his wife actually played a trick on me when I was trying to help her with a reading. So, yeah, thanks so much for your likes, comments, shares, guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.